the point that I was in the midst of making is that when you have youth unemployment, that is so high, when you have young people who want to get out and start earning some money and becoming independent and standing up on their own 2 feet, and they look out in the community and they can't find any jobs. There is no income. Under those circumstances, bad things happen. And if anyone here thinks there is not a direct correlation between outrageously high youth unemployment in America and the fact that we have more people in jail than any other country on earth, you would be mistaken. China is a communist authoritarian country. They don't tolerate dissent all that well. They are 4 times our size. We have more people in jail than China. We have 2.2 million people in jail, disproportionately black and Hispanic. Now, it seems to me that both from a human perspective, not seeing young people's lives being destroyed, and by the way, from a financial perspective, because we're spending $80 billion a year locking up people, education and jobs rather than jails and incarceration. So here is a promise I make to you tonight, that if elected president by the end of my first term, we will not have more people in jail than any other country. We will reform a broken criminal justice system. We will have our young people at work or in school, not rotting behind jail cells. And when we talk about the economy, it's not only income and wealth inequality, it's not only high unemployment. It is also the fact that wages in America are just too damn low. The current minimum wage of $7.25 an hour is a starvation wage. We have got to raise the minimum wage to a living wage, $15 an hour over the next few years. It is not a radical idea. It is not a left-wing extremist idea to say that if somebody works 40 hours a week, that person should not be living in poverty. And I hope that every man in this room tonight will stand with the women and fight for pay equity for women working. There is no rational economic reason as to why women make 79 cents on the dollar compared to men. And together we are going to change that. Equal pay for equal work. And when we raise the minimum wage to a living wage, and when we have pay equity for women workers, you're going to see millions of single moms all over this country finally being able to raise their children with the security and dignity they're entitled to. Now, many of you have heard my Republican colleagues and Republican presidential candidates talk about family values. They just stay up nights worrying about families, especially if they are very wealthy families who can contribute to their campaigns. But all of you know what Republicans are talking about when they talk about family values, and what they are saying is that no woman in this country should have the right to control her own body. I disagree. And what they are also saying is that our gay brothers and sisters who want to get married should not have that right. I disagree. Now, I am a very lucky guy. I have 4 great kids, 7 beautiful grandchildren, and my wife, Jane, and I have been married for 27 years. And Jane and I believe very strongly in family values, but they are very different values than Republicans believe in. And when we talk about family values, we are talking about ending the international embarrassment of the United States of America being the only major country on earth that does not provide paid family and medical leave. Now, today in Georgia, here in Atlanta, and Burlington, Vermont, women are giving birth to babies. And for those of you who are parents, you know what an extraordinary day that is. And it's a pretty big day for the baby as well. But here is the real story, and I want you to think about this for a second. If a mom and a dad come from a family that has sufficient income, mom and dad can stay home and get to love their baby, get to know their baby, get to bond with their baby in the way that families should be able to do. But today in America, if that mother is a working class woman or a low-income woman, she will be forced to be separated from her newborn baby after 1 week or 2 weeks because she doesn't have the income to stay home. And that is why together we are going to pass legislation that calls for 12 weeks of paid family and medical leave. We are not going to be the only country, major country on earth, that forces women to go back to work and not be able to take care of their babies. And when we talk about the economy, it is important to talk about the need for us to create millions of decent paying jobs to put our people back to work.
Killer Mike is...
In America today, given the educational crisis that we face, we should not be firing teachers, we should be hiring teachers. In America today, given the fact that we have a dysfunctional child care and pre-K system, where child care and pre-K are unaffordable for millions of families, we should be hiring people, paying them well to take care of our little ones. In America today, our infrastructure, our roads, our bridges, water systems, wastewater plants, our rail system, our airports, our levees, our dams need an enormous amount of work. Putting $1 trillion into rebuilding our crumbling infrastructure will create up to 13 million decent paying jobs, and that's what we should be doing. And when we talk about our economy, it is imperative that we take a very hard look at the greed, the recklessness, and the illegal behavior taking place on Wall Street. All of you are aware that as a result of recklessness and illegal behavior, Wall Street drove this country into the worst economic downturn since the Great Depression. And millions of people have not yet recovered from what Wall Street did. Now, what you have today is a situation where the 6th largest financial institutions in America have assets equivalent to 58% of the gross domestic product of America. You have six financial institutions that issue about 2/3 of the credit cards in America and about 1/3 of the mortgages in America. When you have financial institutions that are too big to fail,